enthusiastic gym freak, and he has been the part of Elisa since all of his engineering life. Uh, Recently, he has cracked interviews of Birlasoft, LTI, and Cadence, and has done internship in Cadence. Today, it is our pleasure to have him at this platform so that he can share his experience about placements as well as about his engineering life. So now the Raj will take over this session and he will convey his messages. And after that, there will be a separate Q&A session. So for that, feel free to type your questions in the chat box, and in the end, we will take all of them. So on behalf of Elisa, I would like to welcome you, Raj. Thank you for joining us. And yeah, you can start.
Uh, yeah. First of all, thanks a lot to you all for giving this opportunity. Uh, I'll share my screen. Uh,
Yes, sir.
uh, Let me know if it is visible.
Yes, sir.
Uh, uh, is it visible?
Yes, sir. It is visible.
Yeah. So I'll tell you the flow, how we will go with it. So first will be my experience. Like till now we have seen. I'll try to share what will be useful for you all. Like companies in which I'm placed and companies in which I'm not placed. But I'll let you know my experience so that you can extract some learnings out of it, and it will help placements. The process, how the process is planned, the steps to prepare, what things one should take care of while preparing, and also one of the famous questions which is asked by many juniors, even I asked to my seniors, is that what questions are being asked during interviews. Just let me know, is my voice fine or I have to change?
You are perfectly audible, Zara.
Hello?
You can continue. Hello.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So next will be the roadmap, and yeah. So yeah, and one more thing which I learned this year, like I was not aware till now about the last point. It is marathon. So we'll see what I've learned this year and how it could really help you a lot by when you'll be in final year, or if you start from now. And last but not the least, it will be your questions. So moving towards my experience, so the very first company which I got in a chance to interview with was Atlas Copco. Talking about it, it's a simple process. It has GD. Being a part of club for many years, I was able to crack GD, and next was interview. They asked about technical stuff related to my project and general. So I was sure why I wanted to join a core company. I was not able to find there as well. So as a result of that, I was rejected there. Next is Veritas. As you might be aware of this company, the interview, I was able to clear its technical interview. Talking about the process of Veritas, like it has a test, it has some MCQs related to technical domain. Once you clear it, you are called for a technical interview. Technical interview, it was around for an hour, and it was like really diverse because they asked me from basics of a flip flop to circuits and some codes even in that during that interview. So it was another diverse interview which I ever gave. Uh, and next is uh, uh, I was in this interview. I went to managerial round, and there I was rejected. So learnings which one should take from Veritas interview is that managerial interview, the interviewer asked me, uh, "Are you interested in embedded?" So I said that I am I did not justify my interest as how I should. And uh, so yeah, during this interview, uh, the manager during this part of interview, manager asked me that like, would you like to work in this company? So I was not able to justify it really well. So one should take care of which company you are applying for, and knowing the role already beforehand applying, that would really help. So once you are able to know about the profile, you can prepare answers in that way. So you can take like note these 2 points. If you are so like get familiar with the role which you are applying for, and also prepare on how you are going to justify it. The next two companies selected was Birlasoft and LTI. These both are service-based companies, and talking about the process. So process of both the companies were similar. Round one had basic aptitude coding, and round two had around like coding round. And so if you practice basics well, you can crack both the companies. Uh, Talking about interview process, so both had two interviews. One is technical and one is HR. Now talking about interviews, in Buildersoft, they were looking for a candidate apart from IT and CS stream who is just aware about technologies. So they asked me questions related to working of ATM machine, how you will be able to explain as an electronic engineer what you think what you think is the infrastructure of working process of ATM machine is. So on the basis of that, you will be able to you have to think and tell. So it was a kind of interview where the questions, even if I prepare really well, I couldn't say that I would have went through it. It's that you have to think and answer. So this was about build of technical interview, and in HR interview they asked me basic HR questions like why you want to work in software, and like as I was like coding in my second and first year. So and also I have taken part into various events, so I was able to justify it well. And optional subject. Now coming to LTI. So in LTI, they asked me what do you know apart from electronics. So I had prepared for DBMS along with SQL queries. So during LTI interviews, they asked me about queries, and I was able to tell them basic SQL queries and basic related to normal forms, normalization in DBMS. So it was about that and basic questions of C. So these were the only two companies I was placed in. So learnings you can take from here that I was able to justify why I wanted to work in software. And one thing people are looking, because companies are coming to hire you all. So even if you don't know, try to tell them, or try to show them that you are really willing to work, or you can think, uh, or you can make the person feel that you are really trying hard to get it. So this could be two takeaways. Now coming to LNT ECC, this was the process was aptitude round was there. Like as I had been preparing aptitude for CAT, so I was able to crack it. But when it came to technical interview, I really was not well prepared, as I hadn't studied subjects in deep. Apart from that, what they asked me was really technical stuff, and it was um, uh, like I was surprised because they asked me the working of transistor, and that too in detail. Somehow I was able to explain it, but I was not able to remember concepts thoroughly, as we had them in maybe in 12th or even in first year or the starting of second year. So ECAT they asked me about projects. So learning from this interview, which I would like to tell you, is that whenever you take a project, so in project there are various components. So ensure that after end of every project, you are preparing a note, or we can say compendium, wherein you are mentioning precisely mentioning and explaining the details. Like you should be able to explain the details of first project, what project you are working. So like in one of the project, like we used one of the electronic component. So interviewer asked me about its variant, its working, and what are its current scenario in industry and ongoing trend, and what are its application. So so they were looking for an engineer who is really well prepared for the electronic stuff and knows breadth and depth of all the whole structure of electronic thing. So whenever you prepare for core companies, as I was not looking for to make a career in core. So just I advise from my field experience is that whenever you are appearing for a core company interview, ensure that your projects are you have studied your projects well, and you are aware about every inch of effort you do in your project. So this was the takeaway from L&T ECC interview. One of my failure is like it was a nice interview. Nice is a like product based company. It hire for software role. So talking about its process, so it has they usually have a test which is a combination of coding plus technical aptitude. Uh, so that was not a not a big deal if you inconsistent practice during placement season. You will be able to crack it. Also, they shortlist a large number of people, so you will get a chance to interview. So the interview which lasted here, it was for an hour. So the initial 45 minutes, which with the interview went really well. But one of the mistakes which I did, I will tell you, is I was talking to my sir from department CSE, so they told that like 2 to 3, uh, uh, you can do STL. So I just watched a video of Rachi Jain on STL, and on the basis of that, I was able to tell about basic concepts which they asked. But they actually went deep more into STL. Initially, they asked like, "Are you aware of STL?" So I said yes, as I had watched the video, but I was not aware into deep. So then he asked it, and then the interviewer asked me puzzles, not puzzles, the questions which he asked me earlier. He wanted me to solve with the approach of various functionalities present in STL. So I was able to, for the initial 2 to 3 questions, I was able to tell him. But when he gave me a tricky question, I was not able to think about it. Like after 3 to 4 days of practice, I was able to like know how the thought process becomes once you are familiar working with STL. So make sure the takeaway from this failure is that uh, sometimes it is better like to let them know that you're not prepared. What happens once you say that you are prepared and uh, uh, the during the interview you are not able to express it, so it gives a bad impression. So that's the takeaway should be so during interviews, say yes to all the things you are really aware of, and you can say no. And because I think saying no is a good idea. Uh, then comes the Cadence and Sidemac. So Cadence is a core company, and Sidemac 2 is a core company in embedded systems. So I was doing internship for Cadence for 9 months. Talking about its process. So for Cadence, they shortlist on the basis of a resume, sorry, pointer. First they shortlist on the basis of pointer, then on the basis of resume. So they shortlisted around 7 to 9 students, and they interviewed around seven, and finally they took three as an intern and one they hired. So again, I was rejected here. Like it was a big experience, but talking about its interview was one of the longest. It was of around 1 hour 45 minutes. So they asked me about basic C programs, basic puzzles related to C programs, a little bit of digital signal processing. Also, they were checking my thinking ability and logical pattern, how I am able to analyze it or not. So it was on that. So if you are like doing like 50 basic numerical and puzzles coding questions, so you will be able to crack this interview as well. They also one of the reason it was I was aware about Python, so here it was a kind of plus point in terms of skills. So yeah, like I was selected for here as for intern, but the latter interview which they took after 9 months of my internship, I was rejected there as they had limited seats and they only wanted to hire one candidate. Uh, So, takeaway I would tell is that I was able to crack cadence interviews consistently. Like before, uh, uh, like 2 3 days, I just revised the basic programs and functionalities. So when you are in your placement tenure, make sure that you are revising, because it's like if it is weekend, it's a good idea to learn new things, because placements are nearer to you, your main focus should be on revision, because the time which you spent on a new thing, you really wouldn't be able to explain to the interviewer or to the person who are sitting on the opposite side really well. But if you revise what you have learned, studied, and just strengthen them, that would help, that would prove to be helpful for you during your interviews, not only for a company but for the whole placement season. Yeah, so this was one of the takeaway from cadence interview. The next was a CDMAC interview. I was really not able to guess the cause of failure for this interview, as the whole interview was based on the code which I wrote. And yeah, one thing which I felt about this interview failure is that they asked me why you want to work in embedded systems as you are already working. Like I was interning at Cadence and also had offer from a software company LTI. So again, what I justified didn't seem relevant to them. So make sure that you are able to justify here again. That was one of the reason which I think I couldn't make through it. Rest it was good. Now coming to off campus I applied to Elitmus business analyst role. This was the only interview where I wasn't like asked with single question related to coding or technical. The whole interview was based on club activities, what I did through the club. But again, one of the talking about its process, so you have to crack a litmus test and score a bare minimum about 80 percentile. You get shortlist for it. Like it's optional, because I don't think many of you will be looking for BA role, business analyst. Um, so it, so yeah, this interview also went for a 1 hour, but in the end, I think I was not able to justify why I want to switch from software, and also I had worked 9 months in Cadence, and again I wanted to switch whole domain. So what I justified didn't seem relevant to them. So again, the thing is, whenever interviews ask you with this question, so and I think this happens and this will happen. So the solution is being prepared. Uh, you can really ask yourself and really get the cause why you want to switch, or why you want to work in that domain. That will really help you. And if you start thinking from now, probably you will, when you will be in final year or during your placement, you will hit the right company which you are looking for. So make sure that you really think emphasis on the point why you want to work in this domain. It's a good idea to crack placement just by saying why you want to work, even if you're not interested. But in the long run, I think it would hamper all. The next one, Tricon Intech. So again, it was off campus, so I was able to crack it first. But during the interview, as it was off campus, my experience is that one should not one should one should prepare really hard to get placed in campus itself, because the advantage which we get in campus is competition is really low here. It's just relative. Like you are competing with your classmates or your batchmates, maybe from IT and CSE. So if you prepare like let's say for 100 hours or 200 hours in a duration of 3 months, you will be able to surpass most of the audience. So I like if you are going for off campus, you should only go for off campus if you are getting better opportunities as compared to what you got in campus. So that's what the learning is like lesson I wanted to share. So I hope that this experience of my of failures and what in which companies I placed will help you to decode one of the best companies you are looking for. Now moving towards the process. So there are things which you cannot skip. One is aptitude. Some companies don't have aptitude which are software inclined, but even if you if in case you wanted to switch career, but or let's say want to go for higher studies, GATE, GRE, CAT, aptitude is a must. So what I suggest is start preparing aptitude from now, and aptitude should be prepared like in a span of 1 2 months and kept aside for like whenever companies come, you can revise and crack. Coding is depend on person to person how long you want to work in that domain. So some of the companies have around as advanced coding, but it's not applicable for electronic students. Companies like Persistence, even TCS, Digital, and uh, one more company from IT domain. It is Espressif. So these companies have advanced coding around which are not like this cannot be. This is the certainty of round cannot be uh, scheduled. Like it depend on company to company. So the one thing which will be which you cannot skip during the whole process is technical interview. So what I really think is you have to work on your communication skill as well as preparation, like which you might have started or you will be starting if you are in FI or your SY. So TI is something which you cannot skip. And the one suggestion I would like to give you for TI is remain calm. Even if you don't know or you're not able to recall, just tell the interviewer. Or if you need really time and you think you can like tell them the answer, you can take time and tell them. Like it is a good method. And HR are there in most of the cases. Some of the companies don't have HR, but most of the companies have HR. And the one line advice for HR would uh, be you and have a good communication skill that would help you to crack the process of like crack this HR round. So make sure that you are really through with your aptitude and coding, as if you are looking for software company. uh, and in some of the core companies, instead of coding round, they have a technical test which consists of questions of gate level or even ISRO bark level. So if you are looking for such companies, you have to like prepare for like prepare in that way as well. Now talking about two companies like Cadence and Eaton, these two companies didn't even take aptitude round nor even neither coding nor advanced coding round. They just shortlist on the basis of resume, and they go on with TI and HR, and that's how you get placed into these companies. So this was about the process. Like next checklist. What happens? Many of us when like during in college, even I was not able, even I was not aware of these things, and even I didn't got any senior who could tell me these important things when I was in my FI or SY in a well structured way. So I think I could feel fulfill that gap which I think I had. So first thing, last but not like it, first things first is the cat level apti. If you're preparing apti na, then prepare it for the like for the cat level, so that be it any company or you will be able to crack it. As I had prepared for the cat, so I was able to crack aptitude. It's just a general aptitude, not technical aptitude. Aptitude I was able to crack of around 11 plus companies. So ensure that whenever you prepare for apti, just prepare for the best, so that whenever you go for a hunt, you get a better than what you could get. So one thing you should not skip is apti. Then comes the second. Now here is the most controversial part, which many of us address, that we are we are aiming for software companies, and should we prepare the basic, should we prepare for the electronic subjects? So the answer is both yes and no. Why no is, if there is a company like Druva or Google or Amazon, these are product based companies, and these companies may really not worry about what you have uh, from your background. but they are really keen to know what you have on your plate for their need, for their requirement. Like they will hire if you have a certain quality in you. And for companies which come to college, you should prepare well, because even during the interviews of software companies like TCS Digital, questions are embedded systems and basic electronics, digital analog. Even I was even interviews asked questions me during the Veritas interview related to JK flip flop. It is too basic, and even during LNT. So what I suggest is uh, out of embedded, digital, analog, RTOS, ECAD, CNP, and communication. One should be like clear with basics of all, but should not dive deep really, because it's just to save yourself. As we are electronics engineer and we are will be we are like studying 3 years or 4 years uh, of spending our time lifetime to study electronics. So it should not be the case. So you should be really well equipped with the basics of this subjects at least. And out of this all uh, uh, 6 7 subjects which I have mentioned there, you should be strong in at least one of the subject. Most of our batchmates were thorough with embedded. There is a reason why embedded most of us choose because of its like opportunities which are there. Also it is easy to learn, and yeah, the scope which we get as a fresher is little bit high in case of embedded. But whereas if you are looking to make a career in digital, analog, or circuit designing, integrated systems, so you need to look for a master's. So that is one of the reason why most of the people go with embedded, and it really helps during interviews. So you can even justify like what is your one of the favorite domain. So most of the people prefer embedded, and some of even people prefer digital because it is easy and small to learn. So you can see anyone among these and ensure that you have strengthened it. Then comes the level 3 for your placement. The truth of our electronics department placement is that 85 to 90% of the students get placed in software company. So it is a must thing in your plate. Uh, you should be clear with your basics of C, CPP, even like some part of DSA. As and which I really see is, even I was not told by any senior, is problem solving and logic development. It is a skill, and you cannot develop it overnight or even in a week. It could take it month or more than month to develop it along with its consistency. So make sure if you are really deciding that you want to go in software, uh, just take your career seriously and like practice consistently, because uh, it should not happen uh, that you are getting confused, you are self doubting yourself. You're in a zone where you self doubt yourself because you are not able to figure out in which company in which domain you want to work. So till 3 point is yeah, you have to prepare all three. But I have told you what could be the best way you could do. So get your aptitude right, one strong subject and like master in one, and uh, like jack of remaining. And in three you can do as per your interest, because the scope is um, even within sky. So yeah, the next thing which is really underrated is projects. uh, yeah, there are a lot of companies which take, not a lot, almost all company, they ask you about project, what you took as a project. Most of us, like the trend is we do project for the sake of doing project. But what is really expected is you should be able to write a paper out of it. So when you are doing project, get a team with a good friends who are really interested in that tech uh, tech stuff which you are working. So once you are able to select your domain, you can really work on your project. As I've seen, like even I was not aware. Even it happens very less in our colleges. Most like what happens around us is many of the students who get placement on the basis of their projects, because they develop it with a good idea to solve problem for a society, and they end up publishing its paper. They present it in hackathon, win it, and even get placed. So this is also one of the skill which is helpful during placement, because uh, like interviewer ask question on it. So if you are clear with your domain, software or core, you can prepare your project in that domain. But if not, you can take the IoT. You can, so that you will be able to justify for the both the domains. Yeah. The thing is, compete in coding contest, compete in hackathons. Even some of our college seniors end up making patents. This trend is really low. Like uh, if you think you really have thought of a good idea which could solve good problems, that could that you could take it as your project, or you can end up making patent of it. uh, some of the good competitions which you should take part in IICDC by Texas Instrument, IIM Bangalore. It is really a good teamwork part competition, which really adds a lot value to your resume, along with EYRC. The trend is already there of EYRC, so just keep taking part and participating seriously. Last but not the least is Code Vita. I think most of the students from TY who are currently in a final year have already been a part of Code Vita. But Code Vita is when it is on campus, there is a 6 hour of coding round. So imagine how you will be doing there if you are not have a habit of coding for like 1 or 2 hours. So you will be exhausted in that 6 hour. So Code Vita is for the software enthusiast who look forward to build right code which solves problem. So yeah, these things will help you build a great profile, and if you win, you will be able to make money out of it as well. The next level is, as an electronics engineer, you should yeah, if you are really clear with your domain, you can start learning DBMS, networking, cloud, data, AI/ML. The resources are there out. You can just start learning. So that why I'm writing this is, if you learn this as a hobby, this will be helpful in your career. Along with that, you can mention this in your resume if you have really studied it well, so that you will be uh, able to make the most out of it. Like the confusion is, many juniors are asking that uh, AI/ML certification course to them, but truth is, uh, companies are hiring us for the work which is to be done. Uh, uh, but the domain in which they are working is really way back than what the research things are going in AI/ML. So make sure you do 1, 2, and 3, and the next three are up to you how you do. And like next three can completely like transition you from uh, uh, single digit to 2 digit package person. So that was about how to prepare. Then yeah, the most uh, favorite question, like what are asked during interviews. So it really depends on company what role they are offering, because sometimes what happens, companies come with two profile, and one may be testing, one may be development. So based on that it is asked. And again there is a problem, like even if roles are offered, so they have panel members. If one of the domain is, one of the panel member is from like DBMS, who is working in DBMS, or like is scripting, or someone whose work is in networking. So it again depends on them what questions they will be you will be encountered during interviews. And last but not the least, it's your answers. So how you answer them, again on the basis of that they will ask you question. So one practice you should you should do is like not to worry much about what is being asked. Rather, you should like focus on your preparation first. uh, and the last piece of advice would be convey precise information in an effective and visual manner, so that interview, whenever you are in interview, like try to speak uh, something which has weight, and the idea which interviewer wants to hear from you. So convey that. And yeah, this was about this. Mm, yeah, roadmap. So I see that there are members from FY, SY, and TY. So you can just like see this. So uh, I wouldn't emphasize much on FY and SY members to focus more on placements because it's their exploring time. So participate in tech and non-tech. In SY, you should like focus on building base, finding your interest in domain, working in teams like for hackathon, coding contests, and like just participate in national state level events. That would really help you to build your resume, because in IITs and NITs, students get internship at the end of their second year as well, which is not the case in our college. So if you are doing that in your SY, that would really help all of us to scale up the Walchens level as well. And yeah, TY is a crucial time period where you have to identify your and finalize your domain which you are going to work, because as you are during your FY, able to finalize in your TY and participate with your team at national level, assuming that you are really doing well in your SY. Yeah, so BTech is the real most awaited thing where placement starts. So yeah, just keep preparing, and if you are getting better opportunities, go for off campus as well. And last but not the least, your destiny. So just it was basically for FI and SY. So and TY member who are like going into TY. So just finalize your domain and identify what's really working for you. And also, if you are looking for in campus, so prepare and finalize with respect to the truth. Like 80 to 85% of the students get in software, so prepare accordingly. Now, traps to avoid. This is especially for uh, my final year, who are in final year, my dear friends. So even I did this, but I wish I think you should not, because like whatever in some of the companies, some of friends who will get placed. So you should not think more about it. What happens when others are getting placed and we are not getting placed? So there is a peer pressure. Why he got placed, I didn't got placed. So you should not worry much about it, because you are in already are in Walchan and a lot of companies come to recruit. So this is the one reason that will help you to placate your peer-to-peer pressure. And so yeah, just don't compare, because he is really great. He's really great at programming. He still did not got placed, and like she just did basics and she got cleared through interview. So these things will happen, but yeah, just avoid such discussions as it's your placement time. And hurry worry, this is one thing which I really suffered a lot. So what happens if you're not getting placed in the initial days? What happens? Companies come, so we rigorously prepare for 2 3 days. Then companies go and you get a time, so you like get time to so you relax or you start something new. But again, companies come and again you start preparing. So that the most important thing which I learned through this year is that in Walton, companies come till April month. Uh, it was applicable for our seniors as well, and it was applicable for our seniors before Corona, even during Corona. So I'm sure that it will be applicable for you. Just think for long term how you'll be preparing well for your placements. So if you have a dedicated plan, balanced dedicated plan of like let's say giving 1 hour per day or 45-30 minutes per day, and on more on weekends, so that you will be able to avoid this hurry worry trap, as giving uh, consistently will able as you will be doing consistently, you will be able to uh, get through with your preparation and perform really well during interviews. And one of the common trend is getting complacent. There are really talented students in our classes, our juniors, our seniors. Get after getting placed in good product-based companies, they just focus and they just live comfortably. So what I'll suggest for them is that you should not stop. You should for better, like, because if you have got let's say a company, so you can really work on your skills so that you will get better opportunities. And one thing which I'd like to tell you is, like, this is basically from my internship experience, is that companies are hiring all of us to make us work at least 8 hours a day. And if you really don't have a habit, or let's say your body don't your body isn't ready to work, sit in front of laptop for 8 hours and work for 8 hours, so you will really get exhausted, get frustrated while working for the corporates. uh, I really did, but what I think is, during 2 to 3 months a lot of companies come to college, and after that uh, and many of the students even get placed. But after getting placed, they just get complacent and they don't keep preparing. But in the end, some of the good companies, product-based companies come. So that is one of the reason you should keep preparing, even if you're in final year, and that too in the domain which you want to work. So that was my advice, because I stopped preparing after internship, and there were really good companies coming to college. But at that time, I wasn't ready with my preparation. So you need to be in touch. So like just assume your final year will be uh, uh, a make or break journey. So if you are really doing well consistently throughout your final year with a balanced life and ensuring your good health, diet, you won't get exhausted, you won't get burnout, and you will end up on the best possible thing for you. And yeah, this is from my experience of working at Cadence. Like they will ask you to work on any technology, and you should be able to learn. So uh, the one thing you cannot neglect is aptitude. It's not the aptitude like quantitative aptitude. Aptitude includes of logical reasoning, verbal ability to communicate well. So this thing, aptitude, like the test which we give as aptitude is just a testing parameter of our brain, and like those materials are just to train our brain, the specifically the prefrontal cortex. So how you interpret, how you analyze, and how you deduce and solve it directly or indirectly impacts your prefrontal cortex. So if you're able to train it well, it's like a muscle. Just train it well, and you will see that. So make sure that you're practicing aptitude. Uh, you can play chess, Sudoku. That will indirectly help you to prepare as even a hobby time. The next is problem solving. This is factor which I really did not focus much till my second year. In third year I felt its importance. So uh, like if you go to the basic idea why companies are working, like companies have a reason, a motive to make things better or to solve a problem. So companies are standing still there because they are solving problems, or they are making this world a better place by solving out problems. So if you are awakening the problem solver within you, that will be really helpful. And how companies work is that they like implement those solutions, they test it. They have every company have a testing team. I was not aware of it. So whenever you even during our projects, we make projects, competitions, we do it, but we matter to include testing. I wish if I was able to know this thing, testing thing before, it would be really helpful during my SY. So make sure that you get a like uh, uh, you search about these things, and companies like they just one and two is like company look for, and third is the thing which they are hiring for you so that you will work 8 hours per day. Uh, and yeah, testing thing. And finally, the if like every time like we get Android upgrade, Windows upgrade, so there are software engineers like us working 8 hours per day so as to upgrade that feature. So that's how it works. And last but not the least, enjoy what you do. When I was rejected in intern, I asked to one of my mentor. He did his masters from France, Paris. He said a statement: "Whatever I learned there in 2 hours after being 50 lakh rupees, I did not use it in my uh, company tenure. Like he had experience of 6 to 7 work in industry, but he did not use it. So that just struck me hard. So that's why it said that like it said that enjoy, love what you do. So learn. Really, if you want to make a career in coding, so ensure that you enjoy it. If you are not enjoying it, find way to enjoy it, or you can really have a better option than this. It's a genuine advice, but yeah, that's the truth. And my I asked my manager, so he said that 10 years down the line, everyone will have money from your college, from your classmate. But thing which will matter is will you really enjoy what you're doing? And also, last advice from my internship experience would be if we are working for them for 8 hours per day, it is really better to have a habit of preparing for that much hours, because if we prepare for 8 hours for even for 5 days, let's say even for 6 hours, you could really crack good product based companies, and start on a great career ahead. So that was my like last but not least important learning of this final year. Like it's a marathon. So yeah, open for questions. I stop sharing.
Yeah, thank you so much for your guidance, Zeta. It was really thought provoking for all of us. So now let us move on to questions. So the first question is from a first year student. He asked that as I am in a first year, I want to work as a full stack developer. So on which content should I focus on as a beginner?
Uh, okay. So as far as you're talking about full stack, so like front end, back end, and REST APIs being good. So you should first things like first of all you should be like clear with your coding logic. So if you are clear with your coding logic, that will help you in every field related to software. So work on your coding skills first of all. Get a really good base there. Then start with front end, back end. Start with PHP, SQL. Then you can work on Django. Also, there are uh, courses available for also full stack. But if you are assuming that you will get an offer of full stack in campus, it's a bit rare. So you need to apply off campus if you really want to go for full stack.
Yes.
I hope it answers.
Yes, Dharav. Yes. So the next question again is, what kind of questions do you face in the interviews except the technical ones? I think many people would relate to this question.
Yeah. Yes. Uh, yeah. Like the main reason of my failure is you should. That is actually the truth. You should really know what are your interests, in which domain you are looking to work for. So one question which is like high possibility of asking is why you want to work in this domain, or why you want to work for this company. So you should be prepared for that apart from technical. And another important question is that uh, uh, you should like they'll ask you about uh, your interest. So if in case you're really not interested into technical domain, uh, there might genuine advice would be to, like, if conditions are there that you want a job, let's say for short term, so you should be able to justify in a way that I did in LTI. I told them that in my first year I had C programming. Then in my second, I enjoyed C programming, so I participated in contests. So I enjoyed C programming. In second year we had DSA, so I got fascinated with it. Again, I after that, in my third year I had options, so I chose CPP as my programming optional subject, apart from microelectronics. So and also I opted electives like cloud, web. So like giving this type of answers will give you edge, like justifying, like here I was able to justify in LTI's interview that why I want to work in software. So like I had a kind of uh, story which resembles the truth. So you can think of that thing, like you should be able to justify it really well. That's the thing,
Right, Anna.
because technical thing can be bad and coding thing also can be practiced. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, the next question is from the juniors. What type of project should one focus while aiming from for a private company and core companies?
So yeah, as I have mentioned about this already, that uh, first thing is projects. Like core companies mostly focuses on project. Like it is common in NITAN and L&T. Like I had asked interview experience of some of my friends. So ensure that the project which you are doing should be of your real interest. So that would be helpful. And also that idea of mastering one or two subjects in detail and in across its depth and breadth, and getting a clear basics of all 5 to 6 electronic subjects. Because uh, the thing is, electronics is very big in itself, and every subject is really big in itself, so you cannot master each and everything. If you can, if you want to do for years, but for placements, just be clear with 1 2 subjects in deep and basics of other remaining 5 4.
Again, the next question is also related to overall coding and core subjects. So the question is, in terms of ratio, how much is coding and core subjects knowledge emphasized upon in the interviews? Like, what is the ratio of the questions?
uh, okay, so for this I had one like PPT questions asked. So again, it depends on company and then role offered. Again, last but not least, to panel, like panel member, if you want to assess, because a general logic is that you are graduating electronic student, so you should be at least clear about the basic, not too much, but at least basic. And having software knowledge to us is a cherry on cake for electronic students, because we are like getting out of our comfort zone, let's say our syllabus, academic structure, and studying that. So that adds value. Like as I was able to answer SQL queries during IC interviews, so interview appreciated there as well. So talking about ratios, uh, like absolute answer cannot be told, but if the company is software, there are very less chances. Maybe 3:1 would be the ratio. And if in case it is core company, so it's vice versa, because core companies also look for coding questions. Like for to one friend who was really good at technical Cooper lighting solution, the core company asked him a code. So yeah, I would say that like it's 1:3 and 3:1.
Yeah, right. And again, there is one question in the chat box that as MBA aspirant, according to you, should we try for it from the TY or BTech? or after a few years of work experience?
It's really a good big question in itself, because it depends on various parameters: your academic profile, 10th 12th scores, MBA in which domain you're looking for, what would be your CAT percentile. But if you look if you look from overall like global perspective, the answer would be to go after your experience, because outside India, many of the colleges, even the Harvard and the Stanford, like they are the average age of a candidate is after 4 to 5 years of experience. So it's good that you're going after experience. Like just my perspective.
All right. Yeah, the question. And as a final question, I would like to ask one thing, that how much would you give importance to the pointer, that is the CGPA, for from a placement perspective?
CGPA on paper really matters a lot on paper, because company shortlist things. Uh, Most of the company shortlist on the basis of pointer, whereas in reality, there are some cases, some students with low pointer really have deep knowledge, and some students with high pointer just are sometimes not clear with the basic. So, but yes, on paper, it has really got a lot of important. Even if you're looking for higher studies, there also it matters. Um, if I would have got a senior in my first or second year who would have told me that really it matters. But yeah, if you are looking for software domain, it really does not matter a lot. But if you are looking for higher studies, then it matters really a lot. So, and for companies, anything above 8.5 is really well. I would say anything above 8.5 is really well as uh, for your placements. And uh, so, any more questions are there, or uh,
Yeah, let us just wait for a minute, see if there are any more questions from the audience. Otherwise, the further session will be conducted by Aditi.
yeah, okay.
So, are there any questions? Please, if you have them, then put them as soon as possible in the chat box so that we can take them.
Okay. Till we get any questions, like I have got a small uh, to say intervention. Like if I were like um, uh, for software placements, so we really did not get proper guidance on how we should build our base. Like some students who practice regularly uh, are able to get a good base in coding. So I have scripted here my step by step. If I would have gotten one more chance, what would I do? Like first thing would be C languages should be. I guess Mihir, could you share this link to group so that everyone could go through it? So on the basis of my 10 plus technical interviews, I have scripted things with sources and like must do sections I have mentioned, which are crucial from interviews perspective. Uh, so I think if you do this, let's say if you are in FY, SY, TY, and I think it's a good time to start. It's not late, even if you're in your TY, the starting phase. So you can like if I would have got this thing in my FY, SY, TY, that would really have been. So I have prepared something. You can go through it. So I have tabulated on what things to focus on, how things, how much question you should go and like flow. Last but not the least, preparing compendium, and this like short notes once you prepare short notes and keep it digitally available, it will help you during your resume, because as an electronics engineer, you have got a lot to revise for your 6 to 7 subjects. So whenever you study 6 to 7 subjects, just make sure after every chapter you prepare a compendium and quote it on compendium. So at the end of your during interviews, you save a lot of time to revise it. It is applicable to your both the things. So I have mentioned like level 0 is here, what we say, basic C programming, because it is asked, uh, beat any interview, like embedded interview or software interview. C can never be neglected, I think. Um, so oops is things. So I have mentioned what things you should focus on, and also making programming's foundation. So week by week effort would be really great, like loop based questions. So for that, logical week, like questions on palindrome, Fibonacci, like these are the favorite questions of interviewer and during exam taker. Like appeared for around 15 to 20 plus coding rounds. So some of the common questions, like I found. And one of the most underrated is bit operations and bit manipulations, because I got familiar with this in my final year. A little earlier, if I would have gotten it, would be helpful for me. Array and strings are two things which you really cannot ignore, because you will find at least one question in your coding around. So, and better thing would be to do it after your logical and loops week. So I have like tabulated in weeks form how should you do, like what type of questions. So whatever I have documented, a 2 months a time frame, 2 or 3 months time frame, and 1 hour per day would be really well, assuming that you take break on Saturdays and Sundays. So yeah, you can go through it. And also famous interview questions, I went through the links, like I have saved it during my interview experience. So I have like shared important link on how questions are there, so you can use them as well for your revisions. And yeah, so for aptitude, Arun Sharma books are really well, as they get you ready for CAT and interview questions, Glassdoor and GFG. So I think this will be helpful really for FY and SY members, maybe for TY. Yeah, I just wanted to. Yeah, one more thing is like when we program, one should look for making it efficient and making it optimum. So that would be helpful, because in most of the coding interviews, software optimize even if you know the solution. What is more you can optimize it. So yeah, please go through this, and I hope this will be helpful for you. I have shared the link with Mihir, and Mihir will share it with you all.
Yes, Sarah. I think
Yes, Mihir.
this is a gold mine which you have shared with all of us of your experience, and yeah, it will be infinitely useful to us. Thank you so much. So now that there are no more questions, and whichever questions are there have already been answered, so further more session will be conducted by Gauri.
Now I think all are done with their questions, and hopefully you all might have got a clear idea about various companies coming to our campus and their process, and got a great way out of your queries, which will surely help you for your further campus preparations. Now, I would like to thank Mr. Raj Malkar for your valuable time and guidance, which enlightened our minds, and a very hearty congratulations for your achievement. We all look forward to stay connected with you and also your updates about your career path, and wish you a good luck in your journey. Lastly, I thank all the participants for attending this valuable session and hereby declare that the placement talk is officially over.